Holy crap, what in the world are they doing to my favorite show? What's going on out there, YouTube? This is SEO0320 representing JVS. I'm back here again for a brand new TV show review for the show Vampire Diaries, the 7th season. This is episode 6. The name of this episode is Best Served Cold. Just to get you all a heads up, there will be sprinkles of spoilers throughout most of this review. So I mean, the episode started off okay because it dealt with Stefan's psyche, like him having the prospect of his son Jacob, which was really interesting. He was teaching him how to hunt and shoot, and then all of a sudden he just kind of disappeared, and like Stefan lost it. You know, he's like, "Where's my son?" You know, and then you find out that he was dreaming, but it's like, you know, it's rooted in his subconscious and in his heart. And basically he wants blood, he wants vengeance, he wants retribution for his aborted child that was purposely done by Julian. So this episode really is all about Julian, like the prospect of him being back, like Lily wanting to cause peace for everybody supposedly with their family, the Heretics, and with the rest of the town folks, as well as with the gang that we know. But it's like, it's a lot of things that are going on in the backfold, because basically Stefan is plotting to try to kill Julian, as well as Damon wants to kill Julian, but he wants to make his mother feel love first and feel it more deeply before killing him slowly, basically. I mean, the whole thought process about this episode, it didn't make a lot of sense, because when Stefan finally does have the opportunity to confront Julian, and at that, he basically sets his brother up, because basically Damon had this one sequence between like him, Julian, and Damon, and Damon was like interjecting in between their pool match, and basically kind of told a story of like this basically crazy brother that would try to go and do something, you know, against somebody else, and basically he was basically implicating Stefan. But Stefan never goes across and says really why he's doing what he's doing. It's just, you know, Damon just acts like Damon. It was really interesting. I like that sequence actually, because when later on you find out that Matt got a call, and it was like what is Matt really gonna do, you know? And then you find out he's working with Stefan to try to basically set Damon to the side. And I was like, Stefan, you really gonna try to take on a 300-year-old vampire by yourself, without your brother, without any really kind of plan? And it was like he got the bakes beaten off of him. Like, and then Damon tried to come in to try to stop the situation. He got bakes beat off him. Like, the mom had to really stop it. It was like watching two young kids really trying to, you know, push away the new stepdad, because the new stepdad is abusive and the mom doesn't want to accept it. That's literally the scenario that I was kind of given. And I was like, come on, Stefan. You know, I mean, I understand, like, you were upset, you mad, but you got to come correct, bro. This dude, he even said, like, I was stuck in there for years and it didn't stop, to the point that I was, like, wanting to basically stab my own love of my life, which is your mother. And, like, the dude, he just kind of lost it. But one thing I'll say is that the sequence when Bonnie and Matt found like the guy that kept on repeating over and over again, where's the high school, and they found like all these different people literally with IVs and just sitting there, I knew that it has to be Julian. I mean, who else could it really be? I mean, it could be Lily, because I haven't seen Lily drink any blood at all. But I mean, I don't know. I think the fact that Julian won, he set up one of the Heretics to kind of lose herself because of like her opposition with her girlfriend, and he was like, yeah, just get lost and don't worry about it. I mean, he's got everybody wrapped on his figure except for old girl Valerie. And Valerie, like, she basically is working with Caroline and Rick, because basically Rick's quote unquote non-wife Joe is basically dying. She's dying because the body is not the same soul that's supposed to be with it, and it's like it's rejecting. It's basically rejecting the body, and she just is slowly dying. And it's really sad. It's really sad because like everything about this vampire reminds me of Joe, and I can see why Rick doesn't want to be around her. It's really compelling. It's really interesting to actually watch. But it is sad. It really was so sad. I felt bad for Rick, but then the most crazy foolishness, which is the things that I'm gonna find as the downfall of not necessarily the past 2 episodes, but it's 2 different things. This next thing coming up about Caroline, I know that Candace, the actual actress that plays Caroline, she's actually pregnant, right? I knew she was pregnant. I wonder how they were going to weave that into the story arc. The beginning of the episode, it shows Damon talking to Rick and Amel, like, what's going on. And you know, like, Rick has, like, the twins, and trying to figure out how that works. And then all of a sudden you see, like, the headline with Caroline bleeding from her side of her head, and basically, like, you know, like, she's saying that Stefan is this, that, and the other, and Damon was implying the old ball and chain. I was like, he's not talking about himself. Like, it sounds like he's talking about Rick, because it was like he was saying, like, where's the girl's, you know, mother? And I was like, this is so confusing. And then at the end of the episode, supposedly, like, Caroline is carrying Rick's children. How the heck and why the heck? I can understand, like, look, take the girl and have her go to New Orleans or whatever and just have her leave just because, to, you know, like, let her have, like, her medical leave. Don't come up with some random gimmick just because so she can be a pregnant vampire. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, what are they talking about? Like, what does that mean, bro? Like, I can understand Rick's daughters being alive, and I think it makes interesting motions about the 3 years that are ahead of time as far as the future passes. But it's like, it's just being written in because she's pregnant, like, in real life. And I'm like, why are you doing this to my show? Like, you don't have to go that route. There's so many different ways they could have written that out. But anyway, that's one thing that I have a problem with. The second thing is, oh my gosh, like, y'all know I'm a Damon fan, and I know a lot of y'all have been talking about different things as far as Bonnie Bennett and the whole Damon situation. I kid you not, this entire freaking episode, Damon and Bonnie do not even talk. They don't even freaking talk, y'all. Like, everything from the contrary from every season, like they've at least either spurn each other, talk with each other, hate each other. It seems like they fall in love with each other, being friends to each other, mad with each other all over again. Even last season, like, it was all building up to that one moment, like, where the beginning of this season started. Like, how is Damon Salvatore going to be able to last without Elena, the love of his life? And my answer was his friendship with Bonnie. Even if that went into a platonic one or went into a deeper one, it was like, it makes sense. Even the last episode that came out, they were at a bar together talking, and yet they're not gonna, you know, she's not gonna be his coach, she's not gonna be his help. Like, she's going to doing her own thing, and then she just happens to be with Enzo. You know, I mean, it's like being forced down my throat. It's like I feel like I'm choking because it's literally like I was sitting there watching Enzo and her walking up together, and she's kind of looking like, oh yeah, that's my kind of blind date. I like that. Yeah, like, and then all of a sudden, like, to make Lily jealous, like, she kind of like comes up to him and starts working with something on his chest, and I'm just like, it's not that they're not compatible as people. I don't have any problem with that. It's the way that the plot is being designed. And like, throughout most of the conversations that we've had, like, everybody that's been listening to, like, my reviews for the Vampire Diaries, y'all have even stated that Caroline has been with everybody. Every main character between Stefan and Damon and everybody else, even Klaus. But yet, Bonnie has been with only sub-characters. I didn't even think about that, for one. But it's like, it's the most unexpected connection that works because they work and vibe as actors, they work and vibe as characters. It's the perfect kind of fit. Even if you want, I mean, I don't never spoil like the books, but the books even allude to Bonnie and Damon having something going on. So, I mean, it's like, I don't want to say it's a racial thing. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying that they are intentionally keeping these people together, not together. And I mean, some people have said that it's a possibility that Lily has like Bonnie's body and like that's not Enzo or whatever. But I'm inclined to believe that's Bonnie and Enzo, that the future, the 3 years ahead of time, that's what's actually going on. It's just, it's a wasted opportunity. And it's like, the more I'm getting fed this little stuff, it's like, the more I just really want to get to the 3 years ahead of time so it just can fall off, because it's not going to last. Even if that's the prospect of 3 years later on, like, yeah, it's an interesting journey to get to that point, but I'd rather just get to the third year, figure out what happened, and show, like, okay, until this girl dies, like, you will be without your mate. So how do you exist in this world? You know, it's all this mess is not making sense. Like the Caroline situation, I don't know if she's with Rick, she's just the baby mama, and she's with Tyler. I don't know. Either way, she's not with Stefan. The situation with Damon not having any kind of connection or any kind of help at all. Like even with Bonnie's communication online saying like she did something terrible, I assumed that was about Damon. I don't really know, but I mean it's alluding to Enzo. But Enzo came to visit her, so I assume it has to be deeper rooted. So I'm praying that they give us something more substantial as far as the relationship and the friendship of Damon and Bonnie, if that. Because they didn't even meet in this episode. And like I said, the episode was pretty decent. I didn't have any problem with it. It was interesting things to see. I know this dude Julian is serious bad news. It's going to be interesting to see how it's all going to play out, especially looking at the preview for next week. But I don't know, man. I don't even know what to give this a rating anymore. Like, I want to rate it like an 8.5 because it was actually a decent episode, but it's like so many stupid plot holes and so many stupid like mistakes that the writers are just going with. I'm just like, I don't want to give this a rating. I don't. It's almost like it's ruining this good start to a good fresh start. It's like they're keeping the same, maintain old problems, whereas they could keep so much more. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Come next episode. Thanks everybody for watching me vent and talk about the Vampire Diaries, which I love. I love the series, but what they're doing with the Bonnie and Damon thing is just pissing me off, I think. And then this whole Caroline situation. I mean, the girl pregnant, like, you can take her out of the equation a different way. Like, you don't have to give her Rick's babies. Anyway, I'm out, everybody. This is JVS SEO 0320 signing out. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments below. Peace.